Hi everybody. Today again we are going to deal with the proofreading stuff because a lot many people having problem with the proofreading. I'm just going to give an idea how to proofread things and what to proofread exactly. Before going there, I just want to give an idea how to plan things. As we know that we have total 45 minutes for the writing. Then within this 45 minutes, you have to use 5 minutes to study the question paper only. You can't do anything other than spending that 5 minutes for studying. Next 10 minutes you should actually sit and plan. You should not write a letter in between. You should just a plan letter, like what to be there in the first paragraph, what is our introduction, everything. Then you have another 10 to 20 minutes to write a letter, then another 10 minutes that is for proofreading. So this is totally 45 minutes. So this is the way you have to plan things, and this is the time recommendation from our side. You have to follow this for clearing the exam for sure. So let's go to the point. What to proofread. So there are totally 8 points which you have to proofread. Let's just deal with them one by one. So the first thing you have to look into here is the patient details. So if I say patient details, you have to be careful that it should be the patient name, the gender, and the titles. You have to make sure that these things are appropriate, and you have cross-checked them before submitting the letter. And the next thing you have to look into is very important one, that is tenses. So again, tenses is one of the common topic where you always go wrong. That is why we always want you to check the tenses. Again, what are the three types of tenses? There are present, the past, and future. So just make sure that which tense is suitable in which scenario. So I think that's the best thing to do. The next thing you have to look into is subject verb agreement. Most probably some people would not know what is subject verb agreement, and that's why I'm just giving you a very simple example here. He requires, they require. It's a very simple thing. It's here, it is singular and it will come with yes, and it's a plural and there will not be yes here. So it's a very simple thing. Singular subject will attract yes, and the plural subject will not attract yes. It's a very simple thing. And the fourth thing you have to look into is abbreviations. So what abbreviations you should use and what abbreviations you should not use. You should be very careful about that, but just make sure that it is better to avoid the abbreviation as far as possible. But if you do not know the full forms of those things, then you better write the short forms itself, because it's better to use the short forms rather going wrong. If you're very clear, go with that. And also please check the reader and the designation so that you can appropriately use the abbreviations whenever necessary. The fifth thing you have to look into is punctuations. Again, when I say punctuations, it is about the full stop and the comma. Just make sure that you just mention them quite, when you write full stop and comma, it should be visible. And when to use the full stop, and I think that at the end of the sentence you should use the full stop. And when you want to use the comma, it should be an introductory phrase. You can contrast things by using the comma, and you can separate 2 to 3 things by using comma. So please make sure that you learn the usage of comma and full stop very clearly, and make sure that it is clearly visible when you write a letter, because it does matter quite a lot. Then the next thing is about capitalization. Again, when to capitalize, I think we have dealt that with the grammar booster series. Some of the drug names should be capitalized. I should always be written capital. English is a proper noun, it should be always capital. And some of the disease like Alzheimer, Down, then Parkinson, it all the capitalization we require. Please make sure that you learn how to use the capitalization properly. And next thing you have to cross check and proofread is for active and passive voice. Again, it's one of the common mistakes usually people go wrong. I hope you know that when we use was, sometimes it's a passive voice, and is a passive voice. So make sure that, especially with the was, there are high chances you go wrong. We have a YouTube video in which we have completely explained what is active and what is passive and how to make sure that it goes correct. The last thing but not the least, that is about spelling. Please make sure that spellings are important. For example, complaint and compliant. See, there is a small difference between them. IANT, AINT, but it's very different thing. So please make sure that the spelling, small changes in the spelling will do matter here. So please make sure that you understand that. So there are 8 things. Just make appropriate usage of proofreading. I hope that will help you.